It is a great honor to be here to present Senhwa Biosciences and our core assets that are the first-in-class new drugs with great clinical potential of treating multiple cancers and infectious disease. Senhwa Biosciences was founded in 2012 and becomes a listed company in Taipei Exchange since 2017. Headquartered in Taiwan with a vital operational base in San Diego, California, Senhwa is well positioned to oversee the development of its asset by collaborating with a diverse range of global investigators and service providers. Focusing on human efficacy, we aim to develop oncology new drugs and drive them through clinical proof of concept. Senhwa's drug candidates received international recognition through clinical collaboration with world-class research institutions like CCTG, PMCC, PBTC, and many reputable awards like SU2C Breast Cancer Dream Team Drug Winner for 9 million Canadian dollars in 2015, Pfizer PCF Global Challenge Award for prostate cancer in 2020, and US NIH CTEP program in 2018. That is $2 million for pediatric medulloblastoma. For COVID-19, multiple phase 2 clinical trials to treat COVID-19 patients are financially supported by the top-tier US hospitals, Banner Health. Pinarulix and simultacitab are the two core assets in our pipeline. Clinical trials in the US, Canada, Australia, Taiwan, Korea, and India are proceeding. Pinarulix has its phase 1 study as a monotherapy for solid tumors completed and is currently under expansion study. Another phase 1 trial, which is in combination with PARP inhibitors for prostate cancer, will be initiated in 3 months under the sponsorship of Pfizer. Simultacitab has the phase 1 and 2 study for cholangiocarcinoma completed, while another phase 1 for basal cell carcinoma is still ongoing. For infectious disease, phase 2 trials in patients with moderate to severe COVID-19 are underway in the US and India. Mr. Hu, chairman of Senhwa Biosciences, is a well-known entrepreneur. He was the former chairman leading China Development Industrial Bank, CDIB, making CDIB one of Asia's largest investment companies. He expanded business of the bank to the United States and other overseas countries. Dr. Song is the president and CEO of Senhwa Biosciences, which he co-founded in 2012. He was the former head of the Life Science Investment Unit in the Overseas Business Department at CDIB. Prior to joining CDIB, he was the managing director of Emergent Venture Holdings, Singapore, and director of Development Center for Biotechnology, BCB, Taiwan. Simultacitab is a meaningful name for CX-4945. Sim in Latin means infection, hazard means target, and tip refers to inhibitor, which suggests simultacitab is an inhibitor with target for infection. Simultacitab is a first-in-class potent and highly selective inhibitor for CK2. It has demonstrated favorable safety, pharmacokinetic characteristics, and pharmacodynamics responses in clinical studies. Due to its unique mechanism, it is regarded as potential COVID-19 therapy for which the related clinical studies are ongoing. SARS-CoV-2, severe acute respiratory syndrome, coronavirus 2, is the virus that causes the pandemic COVID-19, called coronavirus disease of 2019. Simultacitab is a promising therapeutic due to its dual action on COVID-19 by, first, blocking SARS-CoV-2-induced CK2 overactivation required for active viral replication and spread to nearby cells. Second, reducing cytokine storm severity by interrupting cytokine signaling pathway. SARS-CoV-2 infection regulates host kinase signaling. The heat map of signaling changes in host cells in response to SARS-CoV-2 infection indicates that CK2 is upregulated in the infected host cells. Through the evaluation over 1,670 molecules via genomic profiles of human cells, CX-4945 simultacitab was found with strong ability to suppress the impact of SARS-CoV-2 virus. Senhwabio has been demonstrated a potent and selective inhibitor of CK2, that the IC50 of Senhwabio is 1600-fold more potent than TBB, which is also a CK2 inhibitor, but without satisfactory toxicity evaluation. Further, among the tested substrates, Senhwabio is being verified in a biochemical kinase screen. It specifically binds on the subunit of CK2 kinase. The symptoms of COVID-19 progresses with the stage proceeding from viral response phase to host inflammatory response, where the need of hospitalization elevates with symptom aggravation. Clinical management of COVID-19 is largely limited to infection prevention and supportive care. Remdesivir was one of the medications approved for emergency use to treat COVID-19 by the US FDA. However, the evidence supporting remdesivir use in patients with advanced COVID-19 is dissipating. There remains an urgent need for potent SARS-CoV-2 therapeutic agents, especially those that could be given for the middle to severe condition and in an outpatient setting to effectively combat the COVID-19 pandemic. When SARS-CoV-2 infected the host cells, CK2 expression in the infected cells starts being upregulated, and overactivated CK2 assists virus nucleocapsid shuttling to cytoplasm and its packaging with viral RNA. The co-localization of CK2 with nucleocapsid along the thin filopodia promote the formation of filopodial protrusions from SARS-CoV-2 infected cells. CK2 inhibition downregulates activity of SARS-CoV-2 life cycle in the infected cell and filopodia formation. A UCSF-led study has discovered when SARS-CoV-2 infects a cell, it hijacks the CK2 protein and forces the cell to modify structure. The infected cell produces tentacle-like structures called filopodia on its surface. The growth spread out and coronavirus emerge from the tips, ready to infect neighboring cells. The phenomenon has been seen with other viruses like Ebola, but it's the first time that it has been observed in the coronavirus. It was found by the scientists a drug that blocks CK2 can stop the virus in its tracks. The drug is now being studied as a potential treatment for COVID-19. The interaction of SARS-CoV-2 nucleocapsid of the virus with the overactivated CK2 in the infected cell would trigger the phosphorylation of G3BP1 and 2, the stress granule proteins, and promote the disaggregation of the stress granules, which gives rise to viral replication. CK2 inhibition reduces stress granule disassembling, resulting in inhibition of viral replication. In the COVID-19 infected transgenic mice model, the group treated with Senhwabio presented a significant reduction of interleukin-6 and TNF level, and the less pulmonary infiltration condition. Presented here is the patient profile in the US, who with the age of 64 had exhausted all available options for COVID treatment and received Senhwabio as the last hope for compassionate use. The patient was free from oxygen requirement in 24 hours after the first dose of Senhwabio and discharged from the hospital 5 days after being treated with Senhwabio. Several phase 2 clinical trials in patients with moderate to severe COVID-19 are underway with IND filings in the US and India. Responding to the arising unexpected COVID-19 pandemic in Taiwan, Senhwa sees the urgent need by providing Senhwabio at free of charge for patients with severe COVID-19 in Taiwan under the emergency IND that is granted by Taiwan FDA. Currently, 5 hospitals, National Yangming University Hospital, National Taiwan University Hospital, Taipei Veterans General Hospital, Taoyuan General Hospital, Ministry of Health and Welfare, and Taipei City Hospital have been granted Senhwabio for compassionate use in treating the severe COVID-19 patients. In addition to the clinical efficacy potential of Senhwabio that is likely to help reduce the hospitalization time for severe COVID-19 patients, Its advantage of being given in oral dosage form does provide usage convenience for drug administration at home or in hospitals that mitigate the loading of healthcare providers. Senhwabio has been demonstrated safe and well tolerated with manageable AEs from over 200 patients. Further, the most valuable trait of Senhwabio is as it targets host protein kinase CK2. SARS-CoV-2 virus mutations are unlikely to affect Senhwabio antiviral efficacy. Senhwabio is safe, easy to use via its oral dosage form, and of notable potential treating COVID-19 due to its dual action of antiviral and anti-inflammatory efficacy. Thank you for your time and attention.